Abby?
Thank you. RS the Sports Centre Vans MPI. This country used to make things, tanks, aeroplanes, submarines. We used to have what they call sovereign defence capability. That means that we could make the things we needed to defend our country here in Australia. Now we have very little sovereign defence industry left. And by the way, I'm not counting those companies who say they are Australian just because they have officials here. The coalition mainly sat on their hands for 9 years, and from what I hear, the current government is not doing much more. Actually, strike that, in some ways they are worse. For example, the AUKUS nuclear submarines that we're supposed to get by 2035 if we are lucky, and that's just one submarine. Under the AUKUS deal, the first thing the Australian taxpayer has been asked to do is hand over $10 billion, yes, $10 billion, to the US and UK submarine industrial base. How about that? Since 2009, the Australian government has wasted billions of dollars trying to decide on a replacement for the Collins-class submarines, which, by the way, were built here in Australia. Doesn't matter whether you think nuclear subs are a good idea or not, the AUKUS deal is both risky and eye-wateringly expensive. Both parties claim they take defence seriously because they spend lots of money, but spending buckets of money with little or nothing to show for it is not being serious about defence, let alone our national security. Here are some examples of past stuff-ups, because I don't have an hour. The C-27J Spartan battlefield transport airplanes, the result of a desktop selection, were found to be not well suited for battlefield operations and are now used as light transport. Then there was the Arafura class offshore combatant vessels, 12 vessels that Navy has since determined as unsuitable for intended maritime operations. And then there were the future frigates. Let's not go into that. I don't have enough time. These planned ships have got bigger and more expensive. The costs blow out, and project was slashed from 9 ships to 6, but at the same inflated price. And as I have said, these stuff-ups are not just in the past. At the last estimate hearing, senators were trying to find out how much of the taxpayers' $10 billion would get back if AUKUS didn't go ahead. Admiral Mead refused to answer Senator Shoebridge's question because it was apparently an irrelevant hypothetical, end quote. Now we know that the US and UK have an expensive free get-out-of clause, and all they have to do is give us 12 months' notice. You cannot be serious, you people in here. People are laughing at you. I'll tell you what, you could not run a corner shop between the both of you, and our national security is in the situation it's in because of you two. I can assure you, if you think those nuclear subs are going to help us tomorrow, I'll tell you what, wake up to yourselves.